Let's talk about Amazon Bedrock Knowledge Base. This is a feature that allows you to set up a RAG workflow to a vector store. So RAG does not necessarily need to have vector store. It can go out to the internet. It can go to a relational database. It can go to a graph database, a document database. The idea with RAG is that you are going and getting data from a data source and doing something with it, bringing it back and putting it into the context window so that before the response comes back, it can intelligently reply. So just understand that it doesn't have to be with a vector store, but vector stores do work really well for RAGs. And this knowledge base is specifically for connecting to a vector store. So we have these processes such as data sources, chunking, parsing, embedding, vector store. This is not showing the whole pipeline of a RAG. It's just showing the components of knowledge base. And somewhere else in this course, we do cover RAGs and show the general workflows of a RAG, even though there are a lot of varieties of RAG workflows. So for data sources here, we have Amazon S3, web crawler, Confluence, Salesforce, SharePoint. I imagine in the future there will be more. Or if you want more data sources, you could be piping stuff to Amazon S3, which will then go into here. You can continuously be adding things to your knowledge base. Then we have the concept of chunking. So we have default chunking, fixed chunking, hierarchical chunking, semantic chunking, node chunking. Or you can use a Lambda function to determine how you chunk your data. The idea is that you have large amounts of corpus or text documents or stuff, and you're going to divide them, chunk them for storage. You have parsing. You might not need parsing, but parsing is useful if you need to analyze or extract information, especially if it's not in a normal format or you want to massage that information before it goes into your vector store. So here you can use Claude 3, Sonnet, and Haiku. At least that's all I saw when I was using it. There could be more. And the supported file types here are things like text, Markdown, HTML, DocX, CSV, Excel, PDF. You cannot have a single file larger than, says 50 BB. BB is not a type, but I'm going to assume that was megabytes. Okay. To parse, and now I'm covering up the next section. So to parse PDF, you need to turn on advanced parsing because PDFs are very tricky, and so that's what's going to happen there. When you put things into a vector store, you have to embed the data, and depending on what kind of embedding you use is going to change how things are relationally stored together or in proximity of other vector data. So here we have Titan text embeddings. There's more than one, so there's a few options. I think there's like 2 and 2.1. I'm being generic here because in the future they'll probably change it. Then you have Cohere's Embed English, Cohere Embed Multilingual. There could be more, but that's all I saw was the 4 at this time. And then, you're embedding your data to put into the vector store. So here we have Amazon Open Search Serverless. I ran out the word for Amazon, ran out of space. Amazon Aurora, which I would assume that would use an extension like PG Vector. We have MongoDB Atlas, which is an excellent choice for a vector store. Pinecone, which is just as good. We have Redis Enterprise Cloud. I'm not sure why MemoryDB is not in here and the other Redis options for AWS, but maybe MemoryDB is going to show up later or they'll provide support or something. But those are our options for knowledge bases. There's also the idea of importing the data. So you have to sync data, but that stuff's really easy. And we're going to cover that in the follow along. So again, if you're not looking to get hands-on, you can just watch the hands-on. You'll understand exactly how that process works. But I'm going to tell you, knowledge base is a big pain to set up. So I'm doing you a big favor by showing you how to use it, okay?